你们没有听过一首歌，他这样唱的：有钱人讲话大声，万事拢吃赢；无钱人踮在世间，讲话无人听。这就是我们新加坡的情况，你们说对吗？PAP 讲话我人过来听。5月7号，你们的声音就是你们的票。5月7号，请投我们民主党一票。
Mr. Issa is right. You worry for yourself and the future. You don't worry about PAP's future. Our next speaker is Dr. James Gomez. He's our candidate for Sembawang GRC.
我们的下一位演讲者是詹姆斯博士，他是我们Sembawang的集选区的候选人。
Good evening. My colleague, fellow candidate also from Sembawang GRC, his name is Muhammad Issa. I just call him Mount Issa because he's a rock. I know he was throwing out some catchphrases, or at least one catchphrase at you tonight. I think it was called "Sack that bugger." I want to add a little bit more detail to it. I want that bugger to go to Johor Bahru. And that bugger is called Bun Wan. You know, detail just helps make the message clearer. Dear Singaporeans, what are we? Are we a nation? Are we a city? Are we a city-state? Are we a republic? Are we a country? What has the PAP been doing with us for the last 52 years? They have led us astray. They have failed. In the last days, my colleagues here and elsewhere in the other rallies have been speaking about the rising cost of living. We talk about the numbers, we talk about minimum wage, we talk about how we have become poor in a material way. But because the PAP over the last 52 years has unable to build a nation and forge an identity, we are poor in spirit. They have failed because they run policies that discriminate and divide us into different social groups. I have a vision, my colleagues and I, for a truly multicultural Singapore. A multicultural Singapore with a Singaporean identity that is anchored by equal political participation. Why? Because with equal political participation, you can shape our identity. Now, I take courage from my interactions with Singaporeans over the years. Every time I enter into a small conversation with Singaporeans, and we ask, so who are you? What are you? Where do you come from? Everyone has a story of some mixed heritage. we say, oh, my father is Teochew, but my mother is Peranakan, so I'm a little bit of half and half. Haven't we all heard a similar story like this? Haven't you? If this is the case, why has the PAP made race so important and led us astray from building a true multicultural and cosmopolitan Singapore? They have failed. What I want us to share tonight is the fact that the PAP has done harm to us at two levels, both at the material level as well as the spiritual level. And for that, what do? Sack that bugger! There are four policies that are pushing us apart. First, racial identification in our identity card. We are a migrant society. We are latently multiculturally. We don't need an identity race card as a compulsory identification in our national identity card. That is colonial stigma. That is a stigma they put onto our forefathers and the